call.
Chair Linda Lopez,
Present.
Vice Chair Rafael Avendaño,
Present.
Councilmember Laura Kaplan,
Here.
Councilmember Beatrice Cerrillo,
Here.
Councilmember Mary Martinez,
Present.
Councilmember Dale Miller,
Here.
Councilmember Everardo Rodriguez, Councilmember Esperanza Vasquez,
Present.
Youth Member Diane Zermeño,
Here.
and then alternate Youth Member Jose Rodriguez.
Here.
Okay, thank you, Irving, thanks. Public comment, there are some public comment cards at the table in the back. If anyone has any comment to make on anything that's not on the agenda, please feel free. I haven't received anything, so okay. I think not. Are you going over to get a card? Okay.
I think the mic was working.
Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, that's easier. So if you can go ahead and fill your card out real quick, and you can bring it up or give it to Irving. Yes. Okay. Any other changes or any comments on the minutes? You want to go ahead and motion?
I motion to approve the minutes for Thursday's March 26, 2015 meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, and Dale, you seconded? Okay, all those, any further discussion?
With the correction.
With the corrections on what certain number means? Maybe that can be, we can actually come up with a number and just clarify that for the record. So there's a motion and a second to approve with some point of clarification. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. All right, motion carries. Okay, so next on the agenda is a presentation regarding the San Mateo County Commission on Disabilities. And we have Ligia Andrade. She's a commissioner on the Commission on Disabilities, and she's going to give us the information. And welcome, thank you.
Yeah, she's going to help her. She can provide.
Esperanza could give her
I
number.
want to turn.
It's not working.
Yeah, she could use this one.
Thanks. Yeah, go ahead and switch to the next slide. Hello, my name is Ligia Andrade. I'm part of the San Mateo County Commission on Disabilities. Next slide. Thank you. About 20% of the residents in San Mateo County have a disability or multiple disabilities. It's about 140,000 people. The COD established themselves in 1991 on September 10th by the Board of Supervisors. It's made up of 21 commissioners. We're all volunteer, and we're appointed by the Board of Supervisors. We represent developmental, physical, mental, sensory, and other disabilities. And it consists of individuals, family members, agencies, and the community at large. We also serve a diverse population of people, ethnicities, socioeconomic status. So we pretty much serve all populations. Our mission statement is to promote the independence and full participation of people with disabilities in San Mateo County. We provide leadership in creating effective solutions to meet the needs of disabilities, community, and broaden our role as a resource to the entire community. Our purpose is to advise the Board of Supervisors on disability-related issues, educate San Mateo County on the needs of people with disabilities, create opportunities for people with disabilities, advocate for people with disabilities on systems issues, and highlight the accomplishments of people with disabilities. We meet the fourth Thursday of every month at 225 37th Avenue in San Mateo. So it's the health department, the San Mateo County Medical Center. And then we go dark in August and December. We have 4 different committees. The ADA Compliance Committee, in which we work on updating all of the different ADA transition plans and facilities in San Mateo County, making sure they're accessible and ADA compliant. We also have the Legislation Advocacy and Outreach Committee, in which I chair that advocates for people with disabilities. We make recommendations to the Board of Supervisors on legislation and systems issues. We also conduct outreach presentations and have other agencies come to us and outreach as well. We have a Youth and Family Committee, in which we work to empower access and services and programs that help with children and adults so they meet their full potential and independence. We also have a Special Events Committee, in which we have different events and different accomplishments for people with disabilities in San Mateo County. Different types of events and outreach that we've done. We present to the Board of Supervisors on Disability Awareness Month in October. We have a Transition to Independence Fair every year, which is also held in October. There's going to be an ADA Disability Resource Fair in October, and different networking events. So an example is the Disability Network Housing Forum that we held in 2014, actually here. We were also part of the U.S. Paralympics last year at the College of San Mateo. We held last year we held the last Independence to a Transition to Independence Fair at the Expo Center, and that'll be held again this October. We also have created a different committee on voting accessibility, getting people out to vote that have disabilities and making sure that it's compliant with ADA. And then every year we have an art showcase in which we highlight art created by people with disabilities, with all different kinds of disabilities in the county. And we're also hosting another one this year. We're right now in process of finding another venue. The one we were having before wasn't very compliant, so we're going to be hosting it somewhere else, and that'll be determined later. One of our commissioners turned 100 years old
Wow.
this year, and so she's the most mature commissioner in the entire county. And so we hosted that for her as well.
Wow.
So other plans that we have so this is the 25th anniversary of the ADA this year in July. So we will be having events catered to that specific milestone, the Transition to Independence Fair and the Art Showcase. So we're currently recruiting. We have 2 more vacancies left. Since we have 21 commissioners that should be representing our commission. Luckily, we only have 2. Usually, we don't have nearly that many. So if you know anyone that's interested, they don't have to have a disability, although they have to be related to the disability community in some way. We have applications online. You can go onto our website, or you can call us at 573-2480, area code 65050, and speak to our liaison, Craig McCullough. Any questions?
Yes, Raphael. We have some questions.
Great.
We appreciate you being here today, first off. This is really good information for us as a council. I was wondering if there's a newsletter that you have that we could possibly have for English and Spanish for our community, because I've had major, input on this matter. I work with youth, so some youth don't have a place to go after school, and it'd be great to know more about the Special Olympics, and I used to volunteer with that, so I'm very passionate about it, and I think it's great that you came today, and any type of newsletter, information you have that we can give to our community that's bilingual would be really, really helpful. And also in our festival that we're going to have too. That's a great day to come out and to say what you do and, just share resources. Most importantly, I think, just resource our people.
So unfortunately, we do not have a newsletter.
Okay.
But we do put out information to the community on our website, and then just through our liaison and through the different agencies. I'm glad you brought up the bilingual issue. So as of right now, myself and a couple other commissioners are Spanish speakers, and we're looking for commissioners to represent other underserved and other underrepresented communities, the Polynesian community, the Tagalog-speaking community, a lot of Asian communities. So if anybody knows of anyone in those communities that is interested, that would be great. And then youth, there's also a youth commission in which there's only one youth commissioner that has a disability. They have a physical disability, so they're looking for people with intellectual disabilities, developmental disabilities. So please send them our way, and we are working on making everything bilingual, because that's another issue of accessibility, is translation. So you can either contact me or contact Greg McCullough, our liaison, but go to our website, please. Yeah, I hope that answered your question.
It answers your question.
Yeah, is there a Facebook page for the?
There is not. With the county, it's really hard to have a Facebook page.
Okay.
There's a lot of red tape. So again, just our website,
All right.
and then contacting Craig directly or myself directly. But we are trying to be more visible in the community.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you bringing up
Okay.
the issue of being inclusive in that sense.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
My question is related to voting. You said that, is there a vehicle in place for voting outreach the day of voting? Or do you need help with that? Because we have important issues coming up, our elections coming up, and it's very important that we just do an all-out campaign and reach as many people as possible.
Absolutely. So we do have that committee that you just developed.
Okay.
And I chair the legislation committee.
Oh,
So anything that's related to policy, legislation, outreach, advocacy, please send it my way, and I will present it to my committee, and then we present it to the entire commission. And then we also work in partnership with other agencies, so we can spread as much information as we can. We also work closely with CID, the Center for Independence of Individuals with Disabilities, in San Mateo. So they directly serve people with disabilities. So they also have a systems change
Right.
person there, staff person.
Right.
So yeah, anything related to that, we have that committee. We are welcoming any type of volunteer or help that anyone can provide. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
I wanted to mention that it'd be good for you to connect with the NFO Forward, where you can also get some information on our website.
Great.
And also, you do a lot of art projects. North Fair Oaks has a public art group, work group, that is right now, we're in the middle of an application process, and the deadline is May 15th for artists to apply to,
Paint utility boxes?
right, for the utility, that's one of the projects. But, so there's a lot of connections you can make with North Fair Oaks Council, North Fair Oaks Forward, and some of the programs that we have going on. That'd be great.
Great.
And I just wanted to thank you for coming
Yeah,
tonight
thank
to
you.
give
We've
us
been
your
working-
information.
Yeah, we've been really wanting.
I know, and thank you for being so
Yeah,
patient.
no,
I know it's been
Thank you for
months.
having us. I appreciate it. Yeah, and vice versa. If you know of any artists that have disabilities, for our art showcase, what's nice is that the art pieces get auctioned, and all of the money goes back
okay.
directly to the artist.
That's
and
great.
then they receive publicity, and it's a really nice event. And if anybody wants to come, I'll send the information on how much the tickets are, and it's a really, really nice event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very
Thank you very
much.
much.
Any,
Uh-huh,
no
thank
other
you.
questions? No. Thank you so much for your time. I
Great,
appreciate
thanks.
that. Okay. Okay. Next on the agenda is the Sheriff's Office. We are to consider a proposal from the Sheriff's Office for council participation in the North Fair Oaks Annual Community Festival. And Sheriff Monks is going to present. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair and council members. Thanks for having us here tonight, and it's good to be back with you. It's been a while. And I think tonight you'll also get an opportunity to meet our new lieutenant that's assigned to North Fair Oaks, Lieutenant Mark Kuykendall, who's here. And he's going to be making a presentation after me.
Okay.
We also have several members of the Sheriff's Office here as well. So, let's see. How does this go? Okay, that is we've done this in the past. It's been a few years since I've done this. Report back to the council about the North Fair Oaks Community Festival. Really, the agenda item says asking for participation. I don't need to ask you. You guys have already participated and been very supportive over the years. And you'll see many familiar pictures through this presentation. But it does give us an opportunity to come back and kind of report back to you what we've done in the past and what we have planned for the future. So this year, the festival will be on Sunday, August 16th. This is probably a familiar scene to many of you. On the day of the festival, Middlefield Road becomes quite a bustling place. Just as a recap, this past year, the festival took place on August 17th, again on Middlefield Road. The festival began as a way to celebrate the diversity of the community, to help build community pride and identity here in North Fair Oaks. It is also a benefit for the Sheriff's youth programs. So all the funds go directly to our youth programs. We'll talk about that a little bit later. This last year, we had between 15 and 20,000 people. And over the course of, since we restarted the festival, we've raised over $400,000 towards our youth programs. Last year, we had over 175 community volunteers. I know we have some people here tonight from the committee. Maybe they could raise their hand. Folks that have helped us in the past and are helping us in the future. And then just a breakdown of the number of different organizations and individuals that have donated both cash and in-kind. I know Beto Chavez is here tonight. He provided the food for tonight. Beto, thank you again. And they have been our title sponsor and has done a lot for us. This is my favorite slide. I call it the hat slide. It's got Supervisor Slocum with his hat. And me and my hat. You see that? Yeah. We're going to have a vote later to see whose hat is better. Anyway, we started about 7 years ago with a pre-festival event. Do I need to hold this, or can you guys hear me? Okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
We call it Sabor de Festival. It's a taste of the festival, and it's a Thursday night before the festival, and it's a way for us to kind of honor our sponsors, to bring a different audience in in support of the festival. And this past year, we had 150 attendees. That's at the History Museum. The parade has become kind of a kickoff for the festival. This last time, we had 78 parade entries, over 600 people participating in the parade. It's a fun, small-town parade. A lot of kids, a lot of lot of color, a lot of music, and it's getting about as big as it can be. It takes a while to get everybody through there, but anyway, it's a lot of fun. During the course of the festival, there's many activities. The idea is we want it to be a fun day for families. It's a no alcohol event. We enforce that. We have very little problems. I'm pleased to report that over the many years that we've done it, we've had no significant safety events. We make sure of that. We make sure that it's a place that people can bring their kids and have a good time. So there's lots of activities for kids. We have 2 stages going, one at each end of Middlefield Road. One is a more kid-oriented music and activities. The other end is more of an adult-oriented music schedule. This is the other important part. Besides raising money for our youth programs, the exhibitors. This last year we had 90 different exhibitors. Of those, over half were either nonprofits or government agencies. And we provide access to the community during that day. We charge only the cost, actually CID that, or SID, the CID is one of the exhibitors. We just talked about that Center for Independence for the Disabled. They are there. There's many community-based organizations that have a difficult time in outreach in this community, and they find that on that day they get a lot of good exposure. They get to meet and greet many people. This is just a sampling of some of the nonprofit and governmental agencies that do take booths out, and I always go around and chat with each of them, and I get constant feedback that this is the best opportunity for them to reach people in this community, and they always are enthusiastic about coming back the following year. Just a few testimonials. I think you've got some notes there.
Right.
I won't read them all, but again, just real positive feedback from the people that attend. Food is usually, we have a couple of areas of the street that have food vendors that help to add to the day, and then these are our media partners that help to bring out the message ahead of time to about not just the festival itself, but we also have an opportunity to reach tens of thousands of households with our newspaper inserts. And in there, we put a lot of community information. We put stories about Fair Oaks. This is one of the areas that I was going to talk later. There's an opportunity for the council. If there's information or things that you want to put out, that's a good vehicle for you to participate. We have people who actually write stories to go into that. And I would certainly be anxious and supportive of working together on some messaging if there's things that you want to get out that are important to the council. Last year we made a point of featuring the North Fair Oaks Forward, and there'll be, I'm sure, more opportunities in the future. The Queen of the Festival is part of the program that we've developed over since 2007. This is a scholarship program for college-bound women. We started it in 2007. This is our 9th year. We've awarded over $123,000 in scholarships, direct scholarships, to date. In 2015, we gave out $23,000 in scholarships. We have 5 finalists from local high schools, and I think we have 3 of them here tonight. Rose, if you could please let
Oh, I
us know.
saw.
Vanessa, please stand.
All right.
These 3 young women, along with 2 others, are all from North Fair Oaks, and they all are college-bound. And,
Thank you.
they are, I think, Sequoia and Woodside High School students in Notre Dame. So anyway, they will be competing for this year's awards, and the money raised from the Queen of the Festival contest goes towards our youth programs as well. And since we began the program, we've raised $200,000. And the raffle prizes that are part of the program are all donated by local businesses. The picture from the, that's the 4th of July parade, which I think they won first place. And so our youth programs, speaking about the beneficiaries of the program, our Sheriff's Activities League is the kind of flagship of our youth programs. We have a number of different activities that go on. It's not just a sports thing. We have after-school homework clubs. We have leadership programs. We have gardening, nutrition. Working with Supervisor Slocum's office, we help fund the green team, getting kids out in the community, helping to clean the community. And we have, working with Raphael, we've got some, programs over at Sienna Center. So it's actually our assistant sheriff is here tonight, Tricia Sanchez, has been very involved in a empowering young women's program. So it's a real multitude of different programs targeted at the youth. This is our picture of our Explorer post. These are young men and women who have an interest in either public safety or search and rescue, and we fund that program as well. This is Assistant Sheriff Sanchez with young women from our Empowering Young Women program. We have dance, athletics. We have our STAR Camp, which is a once a year in the summer. We take about 120 kids up to the Santa Cruz Mountains for a week, and it's a program that combines traditional camping with some of the messages that we try to instill during the year, whether it's anti-gang message or anti-drug message or self-esteem, decision-making, things like that, avoiding peer pressure. And also through our youth program, we fund a number of other programs in the community besides our own programs. But St. Francis Center, the Sienna Center, Raphael is familiar with, Boys and Girls Club, Rideau City Library Foundation, the North Fair Oaks Library specifically, and other worthwhile programs. So this year, 2015's festival is going to be on Sunday, August 16th. Again, it will be very similar to past years, and it'll be on Millfield Road. It'll be one day, same benefit, youth programs, and we expect another big turnout. Pictures. The preview party will be August 13th, and again, it'll be along the same lines as in the past. This is a sampling of some of the sponsors that we've had. I think this is last year's sponsors, so you can see there's a number of local and county organizations that support the festival and in turn support our youth programs. I've included a breakdown. This is a budget of this past year. The green represents the revenues, and I think you've got a copy that's probably easier to read in your packet there. The blue represents the expenses, and the kind of taupe color kind of nets out what we've been able to contribute to our youth program. So last year, after accounting for all of our expenses, we had about $122,000 that was able to go into the Youth Foundation, which is managed by the Silicon Valley Community Foundation.
Can we get a copy of that?
The step below the line is kind of the in-kind. So you can see there's a significant amount of in-kind support that we get, whether it be media support, whether it is the stuff that Beto Chavez and his family does. They provide a lot of food on the day of the event. They help with the advertising and a lot of other stuff. Recology helps us significantly with the cleanup and the garbage receptacles during the day of. Coca-Cola is very generous with drinks. Actually, I think the drinks we're having tonight are some from their generosity. And Aeromexico is helpful with the raffle prizes. So it's a real real generous group of sponsors that help us to make this a successful event. So, I mentioned before, for your consideration, if there's areas that you see that we can work more closely together, if there is input from the council on how we can improve this, how we can help promote the messaging or the information that you want to promote to the community, we can do that. We get, I think, excellent exposure. We have a fairly significant megaphone, if you will, to get the word out, and I'm very, very happy to partner with you in a way that is helpful to the community to get that messaging out to the community. If you're interested, we can make a booth available to the council on the day of if you'd like to have a booth and have face-to-face contact with people and pass things out or get sign-ups for volunteers or whatever you want to do. And again, open to you. Many of you have been in the parade in the past, and certainly make that available going forward. So.
Okay.
I think that is it. If you have other questions or comments?
Were we going to have another presentation, or
Well,
was he going to add anything, or?
Later, you're going to have our Lieutenant
Oh.
Colonel do his report.
Oh, the actual report. Oh, got it. Okay.
Your agenda. If
Yeah.
you would like to move that up, I'd be happy to.
Okay.
When I'm done, have Lieutenant Colonel come up. and,
Well, yeah. So, council members, any questions for Sheriff Monks?
I have a question. So some of the activities that were listed, they're really great activities for our families here, our community members. Some I'm familiar with, such as the sports, but where are the other activities, and who can participate or who qualifies to participate?
Okay, so some of the stuff that we do is kind of geographically based. Some of it is open to people from anywhere in the county, really, any of our jurisdictions. For example, the cadet program, we have kids from all over. We have kids from Fair Oaks, we have kids from the coast, we have kids from as far north as Millbrae. Trish, on your youth or women's empowerment program, where?
Yeah, the Empowering Youth Program that's out on the coast, on the coastal areas of Pescadero, Half Bay, but that was a pilot program, so we're working to bring one maybe to North Groves, maybe over this summer. We can definitely share you the link of our Sheriff's Activities League, and it shows you all the different programs availability. And a lot of the programs end up getting referrals from parents, from schools, from our officers, and they come in contact with people, so we try and market it as many different ways.
So our Activities League is based out of the Maida building over on Edison, or Sports House. And so a lot of our programming is kind of based out of there. Sergeant Todd Panado, who's in the back there, kind of runs a lot of that. So we'd be happy to, afterwards, if you'd like to talk to Todd, you could, or we could get you a list and a more in-depth breakdown of all the programs and where they reside, who's eligible.
That would be great. Thank you.
Any other questions from council? Laura?
So I noticed about 15,000 to 20,000 attendees. Do we have any idea how many of those are local, or do we know where they come from at all?
We don't. We don't really, ask people where they come from. And the estimates that we do, we usually, the crowd kind of surges over the course of the day. It's usually kind of sparse in the beginning. As the day goes on, it gets pretty full. So, but there are many from the community. There are people that come from other parts of the county, from Santa Clara County. So, I think it's a pretty diverse group.
I had a question about initially when the festival started, as I understood, it had more to do with promoting the local businesses in the community. And I wonder, I don't know, what is done to facilitate that now? Because I'd heard a question about that. I'm not sure how that works.
So we reach out to you. want to address that?
Sure. So we have a
This is
host.
Catherine Hopkinson, our festival director.
Thank you. So we have a host committee which is chaired by Beto Chavez and Tammy Pereira.
Catherine, can you do the mic? Thank you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Great. So Beto Chavez and Tammy Pereira chair our host committee. Anyone
Those agencies and where they are so people can easily find them. Or maybe we could think about clustering them
Right,
in
right.
one area. So you've got a county service, county provider area.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent
I
idea.
think that's an excellent idea, starting with the questions that people ask all the time, and they don't know where in the county to go for the answer, because having the separate booths is nice, but that's not usually how people approach it. They approach it with their questions. Where do I go when this happens? Where do I go when that happens? So I think Rafael's suggestion is excellent, too, if we could figure out a way to direct people based on the kinds of things they usually come to us with.
Right.
I think
Thank you.
taking advantage of the microphone too. I mean, there's 2 microphones, there's 2 stages. So just being like, hey, make sure you go to this booth, you know, and like having an MC really do that really adds to like, you know, the culture of our community. Sometimes it's just, hey, did you hear about this? Oh, okay, that's word of mouth. That's, you know, our community's like that. So I think that really using the microphone to get the people to where the booths are, just using the resources. I mean, 15,000, is that what you said? That's a lot of people that we could educate, you know? 20,000, yeah. So just, you know,
Good idea. Thank you.
And then just point of clarification, council. So I actually staff, like we have a booth there dedicated to not only Supervisor Slocum's office, but also the Norfolk Oaks Community Council. So last year, you know, I handed out brochures, you know, flyers about just any upcoming meetings by the council, as well as like the Board of Supervisors.
You know, I have 2 public comment cards. One is from Veronica Escamer. Is she still here? Where are you? Oh, okay. So Veronica wanted to make a comment. Veronica, you have 2 minutes, and then following Veronica, I have Jim Povey. Did I pronounce that correctly?
No, but nobody ever does.
Oh, sorry. All right. Hi, Veronica.
Well, we are partnered with the festival for 3 years. We are a non-profit organization that take care of teens in here. And I just want to say that we are so proud to be with them, and there's a marvelous festival, and it should be for a long time, because the girls, for example, grow a lot. Last year, I was the advisor of one of them, and I think it makes a change on them. And let them show how proud they are when they come as a queen. It's not a beauty contest, it's more like a showing our community, our Hispanic community, that they can do things. So I'm totally in favor of the festival.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Jim?
Is that close to the public? My name is Jim Poquet with the Bay Association of Mentors. It's a self-funded, community-based organization. We're from mostly North County. And it might seem funny that somebody from the North County is going to come down here to support an organization. Our whole goal is to pay it forward. I actually have taught classes here at the Peninsula Works, is how I got introduced to this area. We started off just helping at the festival, setting up booths. Then we're given the opportunity to actually become advisors for the Queen. And that's what we learned about this community. What we really learned is the pride that this instills. When we interview these girls, we hear that they're from this area. We hear their pride of living here. We hear how this community has grown. I wasn't here to see this. I'm from Pacific. I'm from the North Coast. But I drive down here to dedicate my time to help these girls. We were talking about what's going on and how the community sees it. We learn about the people here. This is more than an opportunity for the girls to get a scholarship. It's an opportunity for those of us that come from out of the area to find out that, gee, North Oaks is a pretty cool little community. When I was younger and had long hair and rode Harleys, when I came down here it was for a different reason. Well, now I'm coming down here, hey, we all grow, we all learn. And that's what I've learned. I've learned to appreciate this community. I've learned to appreciate the pride. I was lucky enough that I was an advisor for the last queen 2 years ago. I'm probably going to be the advisor for the queen this year, but I might be bragging at this point. But the idea is we want to make sure that you all understand what's going on. You hear it from your own community, and you were asking how many people from the outside and how many here. There's no way to ascertain that. But do know that the people that do come from the outside to participate, I'm not an English, Spanish speaker. I still come down here. I'm welcome here. I've learned to make really good margaritas and ceviches. I'm learning a lot about the community. And that's got a lot of value that people shouldn't forget. People will come here for things they can't get in another community. I'm just going to sort of implore you to all keep track of that and be supportive of this. There's a lot more to it than a great community festival. It's building pride that we actually get to see. And the pride is in the young people. That's your future in the community.
Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you. Beto Chavez and Tammy, are you going to speak together or? Okay, all right.
Hello, my name is Beto Chavez with Chavez Supermarkets, a local business here in North Fair Oaks. We have 2 establishments here, and I'd just like to thank this council, the North Fair Oaks Community Council, for its participation and help in the past. And we look forward to working with you together for this year's festival and many more forward. And also, I'd like to thank Sheriff Greg Muss and the Sheriff's Office for continuing to host this festival. It's a great way for businesses like myself and many other businesses on Middlefield Road to connect with their customers outside of the shop, to really show support for a day that the whole community takes pride in, that looks forward to, and to really say that, hey, it's not just downtown Road City that has its festivals. It's not just, the Santa Clara County with its Art and Wine Festival. North Fair Oaks County has a festival too, where they play music that our community likes to listen to. Has a parade where their children can participate in many of the sheriff's activity leagues that go year round. This is really more of a showcase of this community and a way for it to take pride. And thank you for your support.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Madam Chair and council members. My name is Tammy Pereira, and I am Tammy Pereira Insurance Services in San Mateo. I am actually the co-chair with Beto Chavez, and I'd like to thank the Sheriff's Office for the opportunity to be able to be a part of this program. I was a mentor last year for the winner of the festival, and I had the privilege of seeing a young lady that basically went in very shy, and through the program, I was able to watch her grow and become such a flourished, and she had so much confidence by the end of this program. I like it also because it gets the girls involved in the community. I get to watch them go to the square. I watch them go to the Dream Machine. Just really get involved with Barry Gardner's Foundation, and it shows that they're not always on their phones and they're texting. It's a matter of engaging and learning how to have a conversation with human beings, which I think that our community is lacking right now. And I'm proud of this program. I'm proud of being a part of it and the opportunity that this program gives me to be able to help and now be a co-chair. So I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this.
Tammy, thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Murillo.
Okay.
And I'd just like to thank you for letting me be a part of this program and be more involved in my own community here in North Fair Oaks.
And what school are you from?
I am from Notre Dame High School in Belmont. Oh, yes. I live 5 minutes away. I live here in North Fair Oaks.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Jordan. I go to military, and I would like to thank for the opportunity for being involved more in my community and being part of this festival.
Thank you.
My name is Michelle. I go to Sequoia High School. I also live very close by, around 5 minutes away. And it's a privilege being part of this festival.
Thank you very much. I went to Sequoia too. Thank you very much, everybody. All right. Council, we have, oh, yes, okay, all right. We have a proposal, well, actually, Assistant Sheriff Tricia Sanchez and I had a conversation, and what was developed out of that conversation was somewhat of a plan on how we're going to reconnect with the sheriff's office. When I came on board to the council, there was a bit of, and I think that was the word I used, a little disconnect there. And I think it was just a matter of getting information on what's been transpiring at the festival and actually seeing, I didn't know that, I mean, I saw, what was it, $400,000 raised last year, and where, and how the funds are dispersed, and all of the planning that goes into it, and all of the collaboration. So I'm very happy that we're able to have this communication tonight, because going forward, I want to strengthen that partnership and collaboration, and I'd like to see the council commit to that. So we actually put on the agenda as an action item here, and I'm going to go over the points, and we're actually going to, I'll entertain a motion when I'm finished. But the North Fair Oaks Community Council, the North Fair Oaks Community Festival welcomes the community to enjoy a day of free live, I should put my glasses on, excuse me. Free live entertainment, arts and crafts, food and beverages, children's rides, activities, festival parade. Proceeds benefit many youth programs, as we got information back from Sheriff Monks of the County Sheriff's Office, and provide scholarships through the Queen of Festival scholarship programs. Youth programs keep our youth safe and occupied during critical after-school hours and during the most vulnerable years of their school careers. And how the plan to enhance the collaboration between the North Fair Oaks Community Council and the Sheriff Office. It's actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to add another point, a 6-point plan. Have a featured North Fair Oaks Spotlight article featuring the council and their message in the festival magazine, point 1. Include the North Fair Oaks Council in future press release with the Sheriff and Supervisor Slocum promoting the festival. Number 3, have a space on the festival website featuring the North Fair Oaks Council. Number 4, I'm going to remove that word continue. Council have a presence in the parade and on the stage during the event. Number 5, council will maintain a booth during the event. And then we're adding a resource booth and career, ask about my career. Oh, so the 2 suggestions that Raphael had mentioned about having resource booths, and also doing a ask about my career kind of campaign to get some of that, do some of that outreach to kids that want to get more information. So I think we have a pretty good plan here. Does anyone wish to make any changes or add to this?
Well, I just thought the ask about my career was a great suggestion, but I don't think it involves the council, so I don't know if we want to put that.
Actually, you know what?
Yeah, just put it there.
Actually, Madam Chair, if I could, listening to all your suggestions, I think they're great suggestions, and I'm happy to commit to our part of all that, including the enhance my career. I think that's a good idea, and we'll add that to our recruitment efforts, because we will have our recruiting team out there again. And I think that's a cool idea.
I think it's a good plan. All right.
Uniforms is ask me about my career, or figure out some way to incorporate
Yeah.
that into what we're doing.
Okay, very good.
And I'm even willing to put a limit on the number of pictures of the sheriff.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, if there's no other questions or additions or discussion, I will entertain a motion. Oh, Beatrice?
Yes. Right.
Excuse me.
One of my concerns about, and I think we have brought it up in several occasions, is when we have given the money or, our contribution, it was suggested if we could have it targeted to one of the areas, because my passion is the youth. Anything that has to do with youth, the dance, the soccer, the athletics, the garden. I work at elementary school. Now that you have a lot of sponsors, it was always told to us that it goes into a general fund and then the money gets dispersed or taken on an as-needed basis. I just would suggest entertaining the idea if we should choose or elect to specifically, if that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to target. I mean, I think it is reassuring, I'm sure, to the council to know that that money does go directly to the youth program. So, but to the extent that you can direct it to a specific program, it's a little complicated because, there's so many programs and a lot of it's based on need. Suffice it to say that if without that money, that number that goes into the youth programs at the end would be reduced by that number. So, and also to know that there's no overhead associated with that. So it's not like we're given to a charity that has high overhead. All this money, every dollar that's left over goes to these programs. And I'm happy to, as a follow-up to tonight, to come back or to share with the council some more specifics about, the programs and where that money goes, and perhaps after you see that, you'll feel more comfortable.
Okay. That's a good solution, because the proposal is more about establishing the relationship and the partnership. And thank you for that suggestion on Beatrice's question. At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept the points, and it's actually a 5-point then, okay. It's actually a 5-point plan, and you should all have your copy in front of you, so if you want to.
I'll motion that we adopt the collaboration plan, action plan, as drafted by Chair Linda Lopez and the Assistant Sheriff.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? No. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, so carries. Thank you very much.
Now, would it be okay if I introduce?
Actually, you know what? I need to get back on track with this, and we're actually going to have Supervisor Slocum's report.
Okay, thank you very
Is he?
much.
Yeah, and then, I'm sorry, we'll get back on. Thank you very much. And Chavez Market, thank you so much, Beto, for dinner. Okay. So, Irving, yeah, and I'm sorry, I should have mentioned in the beginning, Supervisor Slocum wanted to, I wanted to move his report after the sheriff's. Yeah.
I'm fine to wait.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I would let Willie Post go first, and I can go last. That's okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what he said.
He said he'll wait.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe Lieutenant Kuykendall, since that
Oh,
was
okay,
a request
all
of the
right,
sheriff.
Lieutenant, if you would like to go ahead and take the podium. Thank you, Warren. So this is your official quarterly report?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Good evening, Madam Chair, and members of the council. I want to start off by saying how excited I am to be back in North Roads. Just to give you a little background, I spent 2 years here as a deputy sheriff and 5 years as a patrol sergeant. So I'm very familiar with the community and its needs, and I'm looking forward to working with you and your community members to keep it a safe and wonderful place to work and do business. So start off by saying that. And highlights from the reporting period, which is the first quarter of this year. There was a decrease in reported crimes from last quarter. And that was part one crimes, which is big ones like homicide, rape, and robbery. And also, there was a decrease in part two crimes, which is auto theft, vandalism, and miscellaneous disturbances. While there was an overall decrease in reported crimes, there was an increase in theft, residential, and auto burglaries, a slight increase. We are actively patrolling the North Forks area and have increased our arrests significantly, and traffic citations are also up significantly. And there was a slight decrease in parking citations as compared to the first quarter of 2000.
Is that good?
To help us combat these crimes, we're asking residents and business owners to call in any suspicious activity. Many times these calls result in arrests, not only for the crimes being committed, but for other things like warrants and other criminal activity.
Now, I have to ask you, and this is the first time we're starting this quarterly thing with the Sheriff's Department. Is it going to be, since you're only doing the report on a quarterly basis, would it be possible to get something in writing to the council prior to our meeting?
Yeah, it's in the.
Oh, you have the, oh.
Yeah. I have a
Oh, I'm
question about
sorry.
the,
I missed that in my packet. I apologize.
I have a question about neighborhood watch programs. I understand there's been an increase
we
in
got two
forming
members.
neighborhood watch programs in North Fair Oaks area. Do you have any stats on that?
I don't have any statistics on that, but Sergeant Fanado, our community policing sergeant, is heading that up. He's looking into that. He can speak to that if you'd like.
So the decrease in parking. Yeah. Okay.
Just recently, we've started 2 neighborhood watch, thanks to Laura and her neighbors. And they're just getting up and running. At our first meeting, we had about 70 residents come in. We had a great presentation by Deputy Langsway, and we're talking about getting signage up, stickers for windows, and so they're moving forward with it. So we're looking forward to it. It encompasses about 500 residents.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Raphael, you have a question?
Yeah, Lieutenant, welcome. I'm Raphael. It's good to meet you. I have a question for you. I'm excited to always have the new lieutenants in town because I think you guys have a major impact in the community. And my question to you is, what is your community engagement goal now being a lieutenant for our community?
I think you're seeing it right here, accessibility. I'm glad to come to each meeting and any community events. I'm always accessible. My door is always open at the sheriff's office. And like I said before, my background is strong here as a deputy and as a sergeant. So I've made relationships here with, I think with you guys. I've spent many years of work as a sergeant and also filling in for Lieutenant Reed, who's retired. And we continue to do that.
Awesome.
Wow.
Thank you.
So your office is at the Sports House?
My office is the county center.
Oh, okay.
We have a substation, obviously, for us, and there's an office there.
And what are the hours of the substations? They're regular hours, or they're just kind of?
The business office hours, but the substation is open 24 hours. I'm not there 24 hours.
I'm glad
Laura
you're-
has a question.
I have a question. I know this is a mixed bag, and you probably can't really answer this question, but it's a slight decrease in parking citations. So on the one hand, I want to say that's great, there's a decrease in something. But on the other hand, we're constantly hearing about not enough parking tickets are given out because people are still parking illegally. So how do we determine if something like that is because there is less effort being put into that month or that quarter?
Statistics are a very useful tool, but they're not always the gauge of what's going on on an individual basis. But 1,100 citations is a significant amount as compared to 1,400 to get a 300 citation decrease. There's many reasons why that could have happened. I don't have specifics.
Okay.
But we don't always cite. A lot of times we come up and we want people, especially with like driveway violations, we make an effort to.
Oh, I'm
knock
glad
on
to hear
doors
that.
and- Yeah, and try to resolve the situation without a citation. And that goes for traffic too. We warn far more people than we cite.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You have another question?
I'm inviting you to the bike rodeo. It's going to be on June 6th. It's a Saturday. All right.
Oh, wow.
Just thought you should know.
Wow, you're on it. Any other questions from council? No. Thank you very, oh, you do. I didn't see your hand. Go ahead.
Field Road number 10. This is a new field, and I have not seen any improvement on the parking. What would you do to facilitate more parking for customers?
Well, obviously, our first action would be to increase our parking enforcement, but if you're providing me some specifics, we can target those specific things. I go let my targets know, and they can let the community service officers know, and we can focus on it.
Now, also on the street cleanup, the street doesn't get clean because cars are parked. So how could you help to have the street clean?
That's always a tricky
Cleaning day.
situation because we don't tow for that violation. That is a citation. So if we do respond, we issue the vehicle a citation.
Street sweeper. Yeah. Okay. That's it. Well, thank you very much. Oh, she has another question? Beatrice, SB, I can't really hear you. Can you get at a mic?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I was going to say one thing that we can do with the outreach of building our neighborhood watch programs and some of our messaging, we potentially, when we sign people up at the North Fair Oaks Festival or SMC Alert, sometimes we can put, somehow communicate, just reminders for people, our staff when they're out there. Maybe we can work with some of the traffic teams in some of the neighborhoods, just reminding people, hey, street cleanup is on this day, whatever we can do, just try and get more compliance.
That would help. Thank you.
I have a question. When you set up the neighborhood watch, you initially set it up. Is there ongoing support for those neighbors? Because I've known in the past that there have been specific groups that have just fizzled, just kind of waned away. And one of the conversations that keep coming up over and over is that they just don't seem to be supported in the way that they need, and that over time, they just kind of it goes by the wayside. So what is being different? What support is different now than maybe in the past? Okay.
Well, Neighborhood Watch starts with the neighbors in the community. We're more than happy to start any program in any community or any neighborhood, but it's up to the residents there to keep it going. We're there to support, 24/7. And if you have an issue or you want us at one of your meetings, we're more than happy to come out and discuss specific issues in your neighborhood. End-to-end or neighbor to neighbor, it's the avenues, San Benito South to Marsh Road. It's one of the longest and largest neighborhood watches in this area, and they're very strong. They have a lot of meetings, barbecues, get-togethers, and they continue to thrive and be one of the better community neighborhood watches in the area. And it's see something, say something in the neighborhood. We've had a lot of people in the neighborhood doing bad things because they see something out of the ordinary. So get to know your neighbors and keep those meetings and those things going, and we will be there to support you 100%.
Okay. I think no other questions? No? Thank you very much. Appreciate your report and everything. Thank you. Okay, we have a presentation regarding the proposed charter school at 860 Charter Street, and the proposal is to convert an existing 23,200 square foot industrial building to a public K-5 charter elementary school located on a parcel in the city of Redwood City, and to use the adjacent parking lot to support the school located on a parcel in unincorporated North Fair Oaks area. And so, hello, welcome, welcome. Okay.
My name is Rob Bartoli.
Oh, you are Rob Bartoli.
County of San Mateo.
Excuse me?
It's a cross-jurisdictional application because, as you described, the school itself is in the city of Redwood City, and the parking lot associated with the school is in the county of San Mateo.
Rob, excuse me, is your mic not working, or?
No, well, I can hold it, but then I can hold it, I guess.
Okay.
So I'll get into a little bit more in depth about the project itself here in a second. So this is a map of the area. The school is at 860 Charter, which is just down the street here. The area in blue is the county unincorporated part of the jurisdiction. The non-highlighted parts are the city of Redwood City. So the actual building where the school is in Redwood City, and we have the parking lot for the county jurisdiction. So we're both working on permits. The zoning for the city of Redwood City is industrial restricted. For the county, it's light industrial. In both jurisdictions, a use permit is required for any kind of school function, either as a facility for the school itself or kind of parking playground area. So we're both going through a use permit process. This will come back to you later for an actual action item. I'll get into that in a little bit. But it will eventually end up at both the city of Redwood City and the County of San Mateo Planning Commissions, with Redwood City being the lead agency for the application.
Where's City of Redwood City right now in that process?
We're going at it together, so we're currently, we're doing it simultaneously.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They're the lead agency for the application as well with the environmental documents. So we are currently, and I'll get into more detail of that in a second, we're currently both working jointly on the application. Them being the lead, they'll actually go first from a perspective of Planning Commission, and then we'll follow them because they will be adopting their environmental document, and we're using that environmental document for the county's purposes when we go to Planning Commission as well. So we're doing it in tandem.
Okay.
So yeah, we are doing it together. The second slide here is a little bit of a close-in on the actual property itself. Its property is bounded in red here. Again, the warehouse is in Redwood City. The parking lot is in the County of San Mateo. As you can kind of see, it's surrounded by relatively industrial and commercial uses. The setting itself is...
Oh, yeah.
Kind of the area in there, and it's again across. This is Bay Street. This is Charter. Spring is up here. Hoover Park and Hoover Elementary, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, is about a quarter mile away up on Charter. The school itself, again, this structure here is proposed to be a K-5 school. With the school in Redwood City in the parking lot and playground area in County of San Mateo. And here is a site plan of the proposed school parking lot configuration. So the school is proposed to be a K-5 elementary school. The enrollment is approximately 600 students and a staff of approximately 32. There will just the area here that's shown on the shaded part again is the parking configuration for drop-off area, and there is also some parking here. This is the actual school itself, and there's some parking again for staff on this side here. There are 45 spaces parking on the site itself. Some of them are double stacked, but they do meet the parking requirements for both the county and the city of San Mateo, city of Redwood City. We're currently reviewing the traffic analysis that Rocket Ship Elementary has submitted for the environmental documents of both the city, Redwood City, and the county cemetery. We're reviewing that document now. And when we come back for your official review, use permit, we'll get into more detail about that traffic analysis. The school activity is proposed to be from 7:15 a.m. to 6 p.m. with classes held between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. During the drop-off period, there would be staggered times for both drop-off and pick-off to minimize overcrowding, and school staff will be in assistance to help kids get dropped off and in that area. Again, here, because we're trying to minimize queuing, backing up on the street, so hopefully most of it will occur here, but again, county staff is looking at that right now. So these are just some pictures of the site itself. This is the existing conditions, obviously. This is at Bay looking east, or should we be south, into the existing parking lot. So that's currently, the lot again, the lot is the county, the building is Redwood City. This is at Charter, looking at the building. Then just another picture. So you can kind of see how parking, especially in that industrial area, is relatively tight. So we're trying to work with the applicants as best we can to figure out a solution to that. So tonight is just a study session item. So we are looking for feedback from the council and from the public on the application itself, and we'll come back at a later date after the environmental document is done for your official review of the use permit from the county. So it's a little bit, it's a unique situation in that we have Redwood City and the county cemetery both processing permits. So when we come, it's described a little bit in your staff report, and I'd be more than happy to answer any more questions about it. But what I'm going to ask you to do is look at the project as a whole, and then when I come back in June, July, whenever it might be, for your official recommendation, you're going to recommend on the use permit for the county cemetery part. Not, you look at the picture as a whole because you can't separate out the parking components from everything else. That would be a little bit odd. But again, your recommendation really is going to be focusing on what this county cemetery has under its jurisdiction.
And will you also be presenting the analysis that you're doing with the surrounding companies? There's a rebuild. There's a lot of businesses that face that. You didn't really show that side parking lot.
Off the street, or?
No, on Charter, right on the right side. There's another.
You mean kitty corner from on Bay?
No, if you go down Charter, there's another long parking lot that goes behind the building.
Oh, yes, that is part of the building, yes, you are correct.
You didn't show that. It's on the right
Yeah,
side.
it's a little bit here, you can kind of see it.
Okay, so if you go, that's another parking piece, and I'm surprised you're not showing it, but if you go down that parking driveway, there's about 3 other businesses. So we're going to need to hear what impact are those businesses claiming that this is going to, and I'm looking at the whole project, not just the parking. So I hope you just bring that information back to us.
No, and we certainly will. When this item comes back, we're going to do noticing, and at least 300 feet, if not more.
Right.
Because we want to hit, on the 300 feet for out there, we hit mainly industrial users and no residents, so we probably will expand that to let people know that the project is coming. And in that noticing process, we will hit them. The applicant is here, and they actually, way back when, October, I think we had a public meeting. They put it on, and they had some of the users and the business owners adjacent to that parking lot. They came and they did have some concerns and questions about the project, so we'll probably definitely be hearing from them again.
Okay.
I think also in the discussion, you should possibly add a signage around the neighborhood that's going to be coming in due to the school. Bicycle lanes, walking signage, especially in a tight space like that. I think just informing us as a whole of what signage will be around so that we can see the project as a whole of the community and the whole infrastructure of it, if that's okay.
Certainly, we can bring that back.
That'd be great.
I have a question about the area that the children will be spending time in. You've got a building and you've got a place that's not, it looks like it's less parking and more drop-off. And I'm wondering, is there any open space at all, any outdoor area where the children will be able to spend time? Because in this environment, it seems a little odd that there wouldn't.
I can maybe let the applicant speak a little bit more to that. But so the drop-off area, again, in the shaded here where you see the snake and cube, during the non-drop-off times, there's a gate here and a gate here that will be closed. So then this area will become accessible. It's kind of hard to see on here, but there's underneath the gray, there's mat lines of basketball courts and
Okay.
outdoor play areas. That's going to be the outdoor area that will be utilized for play.
Okay, I wondered about that, and I also wondered if you had thought of doing a parking or the drop-off at a different level so that there could be more open space accessible. I know that adds cost.
You mean like a split level, like second story kind of?
Or,
Yeah,
yes.
that's really on the applicant for understanding about what their best configuration is within their budget.
Okay.
So,
If you'd like to hear from the applicant or the
Did you want to get
so
more
will there be a
information?
play structure? Is there a play structure?
Yeah, there's like,
Oh, okay. I didn't see that, okay.
Right.
And I have another question. The building itself, is it going to be like torn down and, or is it going to stay, that warehouse will stay?
It will remain as is and will be reused essentially, so the outer structure of the building will remain mostly the same.
I'm sorry, are we going to hear from Launchpad or from Rocket? Oh,
That's, the applicant is Launchpad.
Launchpad, okay, yeah.
Would you like to hear from the applicant?
Yes, if you can follow up to Laura's question, yes. And also Mary had some questions.
Hi, I'm Laura Cozell. I'm the Vice President of
They created their own real estate company.
And Launchpad is the developer and the
Yeah.
applicant. It is an affiliated nonprofit with Rocket Ship Education, so staff at Rocket Ship manages all of the activities of Launchpad. So officially, Launchpad is the applicant. As Rob mentioned, there's a series of fencing and gates that after drop-off is complete, those fences and gates will be closed, and the kids will play in the, essentially the gray shaded areas. So there is a play structure right in the corner. No, it's on the other side. It's a long bay. Right.
Right there.
right there.
Yeah, right there. So the play structure is in this area. And then we also have basketball court marked and just open play area as well.
Also, I noted that the drop-off and pickup times coincide exactly with rush hour for everyone else. So is this an extra long school day, or is that just?
It is a longer school day than most. We also start early because we serve universal breakfast, so a lot of parents drop off at 7:15 in the morning, so it's kind of between 7:15 and 7:55, and then the school day starts. So it's a longer period with a more, I would say, a slow progression of cars rather than intense all at once. And then in the afternoons, we do stagger the time, so each grade is dismissed at a different time so that we can control that a little bit better on the site.
But no green area, no play area that is green or?
No, this is a very urban campus, as most of our campuses are, so we don't have field space per se, but we do have physical education and enrichment activities during the day, and we usually have a coach that is responsible for that physical education, so all of our kids do get playtime.
Okay.
What about after-school sports?
We have a YMCA after-school program, and there are some activities during that time.
I'm sorry, does that mean you're going to bus the kids to
No,
YMCA?
comes to-
YMCA would actually, you're going to contract with them to
They come
provide
school, they
the
use
service?
schools' facilities.
Okay.
They serve snacks, they have sports activities, and there's some mentoring programs that go on.
Okay. I just want to remind council, we're not taking action on this. So If you have, do you have any other questions for them?
Besides after-school sports, will there be an after-school program?
Well, the YMCA program is the after-school program.
Okay. No, that's all right. Okay. Dale, did you have your hand
I have
up?
another question.
Okay. Yes, Mary.
Do you know if there's going to be a fee for that after-school program? Or,
I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that. We can find out. Before we come back again.
Okay.
I have another question, like last question. So I see the basketball court here, and then like right next to it is like, you know, where the cars drop them off. I was wondering, you know, like, will there be a fence like along the curb? I guess like, because I know, you know, before school starts, some kids arrive early, and you know, they could like start playing basketball or whatever, and I don't know, like I feel like that would be kind of unsafe, I guess.
I don't know the specifics again, but I know staff was going to be out there during the drop-off period. Rocket Ship can speak a little bit more to that probably.
We're not going to mix the cars and the kids. So we do this at all of our schools. We try to be very efficient with our space. So we use the blacktop area for drop-off for the cars in the morning. And then when we close the gate, then that becomes the play area. So the only time the kids would be on or near the basketball court at all would be after all the cars are gone, we close the gates.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, I think we're done. Thank you so much.
Chair, point of clarification, you'll also need to ask for public comment.
Is there any public comment regarding this proposal or the presentation? No. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Irving.
Thank you, Irving. Okay, next on the agenda is the recommendation regarding the off-street parking exception at 30 Columbia. And I don't know, Brian, you're presenting? Okay. And this is on the agenda for action. Go ahead, Brian.
Council. My name is Brian Albini. I'm a planner with the county. What I'm bringing before you for consideration is 30 Columbia Avenue. We're asking for your consideration on the off-street parking exception to allow a tandem uncovered parking and one covered carport. There is no development change on this project. It's a legalization of an existing illegal second unit, and the new owners legalize the second unit. Part of that, I'm asking for a parking exception for the parking that was removed from the original garage that was constructed with permits in 1961. The resident was constructed in 1924 here.
Oh, wow.
This original garage was a single-car garage with a storage space, which was converted subsequently over the decades into a second unit. We're going to bring the residents in compliance. They have proposed adding one carport here and this tandem space to support the second unit, and then replace the one car garage that was taken with the second unit for the primary residence in the carport. So there's a view of the residence as it stands here. The carport will be constructed towards the rear of the main house, and the tandem uncovered parking will be here. So, we're seeking a recommendation to establish that the meetings are and are conducting of the off-street parking facilities as proposed are nearly in compliance with the requirements set forth in the zoning regulations, section 6119, for exceptions to parking requirements as a reason. Any questions?
Do we know when the illegal unit was built?
So, the original garage, single-car garage and storage area was built with permits in 1961. It is unclear when it was converted. for the previous owner. So sometime between 1970 and 2000.
So the current owner purchased this as an investment property, knowing that it had an illegal unit.
I'm unaware that it was purchased as an investment property. I believe the current owners are residing in the main residence.
It shows on the record as being a non-owner occupied, so I assumed that, but
I'll have to double check, but I believe the residence is occupied by the applicant. And so what their attempt here is to legalize the second unit and put the parking.
no, I understand. I guess my hesitation here is that although I know we need housing, we also have a big parking problem, and every time we say yes to, oh, it's illegal, and now we're going to make it okay, and now we're going to say you don't need to have the parking, we just add to the problem. So I'm kind of divided on that issue here, because I feel that, they knew the problem going in when they purchased it, and they're asking now for something that's going to add to our already impacted, I hate using that word, problematic parking situation. So I have some issues with that.
Were there any suggestions you guys would like to make as far as changes or?
In other areas, I know they would just be asked to take out the illegal unit. I've seen that in other cities,
Well, what's before you here is just the park. The second unit is allowed as a aerial use. It complies with all zoning regulations. It's within the 5-foot side setback and 20-foot rear setback.
And
So what we're asking now is to consider the parking as it is, and it's replacing one for one what was there originally prior to our parking regulations.
And if I could add to what the planner is informing you all of, it's he had the finding that he's asking you to make a recommendation regarding up on the screen a moment ago, and that's the standard that the zoning regulations require that you look at when making the determination of whether the off-street parking exception should be granted or denied. So if you can take a look at that language in the second paragraph, those are sort of the concerns that we would ask you to focus your comments on.
Well, I understand that it's saying as close as it can be, but I'm saying that that's the kind of thing that comes before us all the time, and I mean has come before. It's as close as it can be, but it's still not in compliance. So,
absolutely.
So,
I'm not clear. Is the owner you're not sure about that? Is it being rented?
I'm not sure. It was my understanding that.
Is it a rental? I mean, is it a?
Madam Chair, again, if I might.
You're telling us to focus on
to
the
interrupt,
legal piece.
but whether the unit is owner occupied or an investment property is not something that you can consider as it relates to the off-street parking exception.
Whether or not it follows the
Exactly. So
legalese. Got it.
Yeah. I'd like to just comment that, this seems to be an improvement, and certainly having the second unit inspected is probably, better for the safety of the residents. And certainly, one covered parking space is better than the none that they have. So I would propose that we support the exception.
Okay. Any other questions or? And is there any public comment on this item? No.
I see as an improvement as well.
Okay. Well, would you like, I'll entertain a motion if there's no other discussion or questions.
Well, they're saying it has to be inspected by the building department.
Right, right.
All right, I'll motion that we support the parking exception. Where the heck is this?
Are you looking for the address?
Yeah.
It's 30 Columbia.
At 30 Columbia. Oh, there it is. 30 Columbia Avenue.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion? Okay. Any further discussion? No. All those in favor of the motion to accept the recommendation regarding the off-street parking exception at 30 Columbia? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries. Thank you, Brian. Okay. So next on the agenda is the recommendation. This is on the agenda for action. Recommendation regarding the use of CSA 8 funds for fiscal year 2015 through 2017 budget allocation. And Peggy, you're presenting? And we all have the one pager
That's
or the
right.
two pager.
Yeah, it's just front and back. In light of the hour, I would very quickly summarize this. At your March study session, we reviewed all the items on the second page regarding your prior suggestions around use of CSA 8 reserve funds. It was agreed on items 1 through 4 that there would not be a request for funding from the CSA 8 reserves because the intent of those council concepts, those council recommendations were being met with funds either through recommended Measure A items or through other places in the county budget. What was tabled or put forward until there was an opportunity for the council to discuss the North Fair Oaks Festival with the sheriff was item number 5, which is the allocation of $20,000 for the festival. That's the question for your board to consider tonight.
Okay, does everyone remember those discussions we had previously? And actually, though, yeah, and so if you look at the recommended council action, they all run down, and number 5 was the only one left. So we did a special agenda item tonight to complete this process. You mentioned, right, so it's to leave the $20,000 as an allocation towards the Fair Oaks Festival. And was it always 20,000? I'm trying to remember. Oh, was it always?
It went up from 10 to 15, but it has been 20, I guess, for the last couple of years, as I
Oh,
understand.
okay, I've seen different numbers, 20, okay, so 20.
And I guess, excuse me, through the chair, the only other thing that I would add is that Beatrice, Councilmember Beatrice had a question when the sheriff was here, and I would remind you that he said he would be happy to come back and talk in detail about the budget and the allocation of the funds in the future, if that's something your council would like.
Right. I think by supporting it, we're basically reaffirming our partnership. So I open this up for any discussion from council.
Well, I'll comment that, the festival has grown and improved over the years since it was first started, and I think they're doing an impressive job. These funds ultimately go to the youth of North Fair Oaks in the programs and the scholarships. So this is, I think, what they call the in-kind kind of contribution to the program. And as long as, Martha and the regulatory people that, have jurisdiction over these funds say that it's proper allocation, I would say that we should support it.
What they had said was that if we were bringing it up today, it would not be proper to take it out of CSA 8, but since it already had been the practice, it was an existing practice, so therefore it was acceptable, although this is an increase in the amount. And you're right, but they have been taking that amount out of the CSA 8 for a number of years.
Okay.
So would a motion that states that we're going to approve this amount, and next year we would like to see more proper funding source rather than this questionable CSA funding?
No, I think what came up in the discussion around this was that it was unknown how the funds were being allocated. So in light of the information we've gotten today, and in light of what I see as a renewed partnership, and also in light of Sheriff Monk's making that suggestion to follow up on Beatrice's statement about how can we, how do we get involved in that as far as how funds are dispersed? I think in light of all of those, that's something I think the council needs to ask for. So if we go ahead and approve this, that's something that we should ask for as a follow-up. Okay? It's just something, we need to establish more communication about it.
I think in the past, we were aware of how the funds were being used, and I know that one of my concerns had been that they raise twice as much, they raise a lot of money, and a small percentage of that goes to these programs, and it didn't seem like we needed to take it out of CSA 8 money, which was meant to be going to community services, if such a small percentage of the overall revenue was what was going to these programs, because they had so many other funding sources. That had been part of the discussion in the past. However, I do agree that if we can have a renewed commitment, which we've talked about tonight, and it seems we do, and a renewed agreement to work together to make it more of a community program rather than just promoting the sheriff's office.
Right.
But promoting the whole sheriff's office, not just the sheriff, as I talked about, and promoting the various community services and making that a partnership, then I think it really does fall more within what the spirit of the intent is to have those CSA 8 monies go toward.
Okay. Any other questions?
I just want to give a kudos to our Chair Linda for getting that meeting together with the sheriffs and making us aligned to community. I think that's important, and I just want to thank you because I think it's great to get the resources and the information all gathered, and it's fair for everyone to see. Even if one person sees it in the community, that one person could steer thousands. So just continuing to have this stuff as itemized budget, so we could see it and we could be the eyes for thousands. It's really important for us to have.
And it's our responsibility to ask the questions. So if there's information that we need to see, we want all of it to be very transparent and known. I think that's on us to ask. But if we set it up in, set up that vehicle so that can happen more easily, then we'll do that. We'll do that. If there's no other questions from council and any public comment on this item, no. Okay, I will at this time entertain a motion.
I'll motion that we support the funding of the North Fair Oaks Festival
From the CSA 8 funds.
from CSA 8 funding,
Okay, can you put that dollar amount, please?
$20,000.
All right, thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
I second the motion.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay, any further discussion? No. All those in favor of the motion to approve the $20,000 allocation out of CSA 8 funds towards, towards the community festival. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries. Thank you, Peggy. Okay. Supervisor Slocum. Oh, I had you, okay. All right. Hello. We haven't seen you in quite a while.
Well, with the new quarterly format we have, if you need me more, just let me know.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Mike Maskers, I'm the commander for Redwood City CHP. I'll be reporting on our activity for the first quarter of 2015. So what we've seen is a very slight uptick in traffic accidents within the North Fair Oaks area. We're up to 27 when we were at the end of March, from 21, which was the average for the last 2 years. Now, while that number is not going in the direction that we would like to see, the silver lining behind that number, and as it was pointed out earlier tonight, statistics don't always tell the full story. What we've seen is a significant decrease in the number of drunk driving accidents as a result of that. We had as many as 5 in previous years for the first quarter. We're down to 2. I'd like to see that number to be 0, but it's moving, that is moving in the correct direction. As well as I know a number of board members have had concerns with speeding in the North Fair Oaks area. There and again, we've seen those numbers decrease from 7 to where we're at 3 right now. So what we're seeing is unsafe turning movements as being the primary cause of our accidents here in the North Fair Oaks community, and those are very hard to enforce until they actually happen, until a driver turns left, right, the wrong place at the wrong time. But what it does tell us is that we need to ensure that we're having a robust presence in this community. We are working very closely with our partners in the San Mateo County Sheriff's Office. And it really doesn't make a difference what patrol car you're in, what patch, what color your uniform is. It's all the emphasis is trying to provide the highest level of safety and security to the residents and the people who live and work in this community. So with that, we've had some very robust enforcement actions that have taken place. And again, it's not about how many citations we write or how many verbal warnings we provide. It's really about having that presence. But we've had 5 concerted enforcement efforts in addition to our day-to-day patrol activities in the North Fair Oaks community. 3 of those 5 efforts had upwards of 100 officers combined from throughout San Mateo County that we've been able to bring within the confines of the North Fair Oaks community to provide that presence, to provide that traffic safety assistance that really helps us to not only get the message out, but provide a very strong public awareness message, particularly distracted driving, driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. And we've been partnering and using that program not only in the North Fair Oaks community, but throughout San Mateo County. This is just one of the many communities that we serve, and that we want to have that program as part of the tools, so to speak, that we have available. So I'm very grateful for the assistance of our allied agency partners and their hard work and efforts here to try to keep the residents, and again, those who work and pass through the North Fair Oaks community as safe as possible. Now, there's a couple of programs that I also want to touch upon very briefly with the Highway Patrol, and again with our partners in public safety, that we have done some very strong outreach efforts to the residents of North Fair Oaks, particularly the youth, and I know youth is very important to this council. We have some important programs, Impact Teen Driving, in which we get drivers 15 to 19 years old to come into this program. We really want to instill in them the hazards of driving and what the dangers they potentially face every time they get behind the wheel, because statistically, accidents are the leading cause of deaths for individuals 16 to 18 years of age. 75% of all those deaths fall within that age category. 66% of all fatal accidents involve that driving range, and they only make up 4% of the driving population. So those numbers tell us there's significant room for improvement. And out of those accidents, the 66%, those are not alcohol or drug-related collisions. We're looking at distracted driving, we're looking at speed, we're looking at just the behaviors that go with being a new driver. So the program that we really want to reach out to the residents of the community, and we have done so within the first quarter, is our Smart Start program, which combines not only new drivers, again, we're looking ages of 15 to 19, but to incorporate their parents or guardians into that program. So it's a collaborative effort, and it really involves the parental guardian supervision with the new driver. And we found that to be a very important tool that we have, and again, to try to reduce these trends, these very tragic numbers, and we certainly don't want those to happen here within our community. And along with the Sheriff's Department, we also have started our Explorer program. It took a hiatus. The last Explorer program we had was in 1995. We brought that program back in the fourth quarter of 2014, and we're in the process now. We've done our recruiting. We have some members from the North Fair Oaks community who are part of that program. It's for individuals that are 15 to 20 who have an interest in exploring the California Highway Patrol as a possible career. Doesn't mean that once we get them, we're not letting them out because somehow the Sheriff's Department steals them anyway. But what we want to do with the program is provide them some exposure to law enforcement and also give them some positive opportunities that they can engage in, aside from maybe some of the less positive opportunities that really are there confronting youth in that age group. And again, the bike rodeo that's coming up on June 6th, we were a proud partner in that event last year. We're certainly looking forward to engaging there as well. And any effort that we can have, the collaborative effort that we use, enforcement, education, and engineering, those are the tools that we reach out to within the Highway Patrol and our allied agency partners to keep everyone as safe as possible. So again, it's not about writing tickets. It's about having a level of presence and having that comfort in the community. The community members feel comfortable with us. They want to go out, engage with us. It's about building that public trust and about enabling us to have the tools of success, which is really predicated on the support that this council can provide us. So thank you, and at this point, I'll entertain any questions that the council may have.
Any questions for Captain Masquerade?
There's a slight increase in collisions, but in my observation, there's been a significant increase in traffic. Do you have any numbers on that? It seems like, just around the general area, Bay Area, there's a lot of people driving around.
The county would be responsible for doing the traffic count monitoring. Caltrans has done it on the freeway, and we've seen about a 15% increase within the last 3 years just on our 101 corridor alone. We're up to nearly 300,000 vehicles per day that cross through our major interchanges, 101 at Woodside Road and 101 at 92. So those numbers are significant, but they also translate to considerably more traffic coming through the Middlefield Road corridor, but I don't have the numbers to articulate exactly what sort of increases that we're seeing. But I think it's safe to say anyone who drives through this community understands with the robust economy, with the presence of some of the larger tech companies that have moved into our neighborhood, brings with that some very positive attributes, but at the same time, it has caused a considerable increase in traffic.
Right.
But then again, when you're going slow, you shouldn't be able to crash as much, but we're kind to that. But we're doing what we can.
There seems like there's a significant number of new housing units coming online in Redwood City. There's a number of large developments there. Do you guys have any plans for dealing with that traffic?
Environmental impact reports, and I've looked at those as far back as several years ago that are now coming online with the development of a very strong Redwood City downtown, and particularly to the residences that are going to be coming online here in the near future in other parts of Redwood City and throughout San Mateo County. So we are aware of that, and I have made the request locally within my command for additional uniform support. The challenge with that is every metropolitan command within the California Highway Patrol, from Oregon down to San Diego, is asking for the same resources. So we only have a finite number of men and women who are coming into our department. There are certain budgetary constraints that we're confronted by. We have to go forward with a essentially request through the legislature when we're trying to increase our budget. But to answer your question, we are very aware of the increases and how they're going to impact the communities that we serve and how they're already impacting the staff that I have that's being spread further and farther between. And there and again is why it's so important in today's day and age. There really can be no insular law enforcement. We have to rely on our public safety partners. Again, jurisdictional boundaries being what they are, we have to go beyond that, and we have to use a collaboration of resources to address various needs that we have.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have a question?
So I would say that, yes, if it now takes 45 minutes to an hour to drive the mile to the freeway from my house that it used to take 10 or 15 minutes, I know, yes, somebody has to start saying no to the new companies coming in and the housing, because it's not going to stop and we don't have the resources to handle it. But of course, it's going to increase the traffic accidents. Anyway, sorry. But that was just, I also have a question on how, you already answered that you can't really deal with that, especially on your own. But what about, I know you're trying to educate about drivers, educate drivers, that sounds really good. Also, there's the issue of pedestrians. I noted, for example, the other day I was already in an intersection, and this big adult guy just walked out quickly into the road right in front of me. And I feel like people understand that they have the right of way and a crosswalk, but they don't always understand that they're not being safe sometimes and not looking to see if a car is coming. Are there plans for education on pedestrian side as well?
Well, again, we don't restrict traffic education to just vehicles, so it's
Yeah.
broad-based, so it does cover pedestrians. But again, we recognize that trend, and as I mentioned, those 5 focused enforcement efforts, one was specific toward crosswalks, and that was on March 10th. And in the context of that, we issued 13 citations on crosswalk violations alone. We also focused on school zone violations back on February 25th, and citations were issued in that regard. So we take the individual traffic issues that we're aware of, and again, it's in collaboration and in concert with the communication we have with community members and looking at our statistics, and then trying to develop an enforcement plan or a strategy to address that. So again, it's not to say that we're out enforcing crosswalks, people see us, hopefully they're not going to be speeding by. We do recognize individual trends, and we try to address those in a way that we can be effective. And I think the strongest message we can send is not only through your council and the outreach efforts that we have within the community, participation in festivals and everything else, but it's just being out there and being visible, because that's really what makes the difference.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're now going to get a report from North Fair Oaks Forward. We're not? Oh, well, actually, you're next on unless Supervisor Slocum? Okay, no, go ahead.
said no.
I'll make it short. Good evening,
Did I say
council
something
members.
wrong?
I have a very quick visual
Oh,
It sounded like.
no, of course not.
here. Okay.
Why would I say something?
So, we're just gonna do very quick updates. So just an update on Middlefield Road, the redesign selection committee, which was with the DPW, so Public Works, and Linda and Dale. They have selected a firm, and they're currently in negotiations. So if all goes well, the firm and the contract will be presented to the Board of Supervisors in May. Public Art Workers, they continue to meet monthly. You'll notice, I believe, Ellie showed the final versions of the signs, and also the call for artists is out, and I believe Linda mentioned this earlier today. So if you know any artists, please have them apply. The submissions until mid-May. And zoning and work group parking, we've been meeting monthly since February, and we've been helping the planning and building department to facilitate that group. We are moving along, and the new ordinance, new mixed-use ordinance should be coming to you all in June. And the local business sustainability plan, we mentioned last time that we've interviewed over 85 business owners. We are currently going to be sending out the property owner survey next week, and we will be collecting all the data by mid-May and presenting to you all in June as well. In regards to Mini Parks Subcommittee, I'm really happy to announce that it was presented to the Parks and Rec Commission, and they passed it, or they approved it. So now we'll be going to the Board of Supervisors on May 19th. And then finally, which is really exciting, we are developing a summer dialogue called Dine and Dialogue, which is very similar to City of San Mateo's Taste and Talk series, which will be a summer series where we're going to invite the community members to come and talk about various themes. This summer series will be the theme Health and Environment, and our first dialogue will be on Complete Streets. So it's going to be in connection to Complete Streets, in connection to Middlefield Road redesign. More details to come, but please mark your calendars. It's going to be on Wednesday, June 10th from 6 to 8 in the Health Center. And we'll bring more details on that as well. And then finally, we continue to attend a variety of events. We're actually going to the Kermez Festival this Sunday from 11 to 3. And we also have Dia del Niño at Fair Oaks School, which we got invited to, so thank you very much. And as always, please visit northfairoaksforward.org for any other information. But do you have any questions? Just very
And you'll be at the rodeo.
Of course, on time.
Everyone's saying that. Any other questions?
Anything else?
No? No, I guess not. Thank you so much. Thank you. Supervisor Slocum's report.
Last but not least. So Irving gave me 2 pages of the talking points here. I slimmed it down to a couple
Oh.
of bullet points. Bear with me. Thanks for your patience. Also, just want to say a couple of things. Thank you for your service on the North Fair Oaks Community Council. I've really felt the energy tonight, and I think by everybody working together, county, the council, sheriff, highway patrol, I really feel like we're making progress. So thank you for your individual and collective leadership. It's appreciated. Go ahead, give yourself a round.
Oh,
So, I'm assuming you all know that on April 8th, the Redwood City School District appointed John Baker as the new superintendent of schools. I'm going to go really fast here. On Tuesday, April 21st, the Board of Supervisors approved a program that basically is going to allow you to drop off your old medicine capsules or
Prescriptions.
prescription bottles, and there'll be drop-off centers at pharmacies throughout the county. That'll probably start in January of next year. Thank you, Raphael. On April 7th, we had a landlord-tenant panel discussion at the Sienna Youth Center. There were about 20 or 30 folks that came to that. We learned a lot from that event, I think. And we're going to do another clinic at the Fair Oaks School on April 29th at 6:30. And I guess we're expecting around 80 people to come to that, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I'll be, that's the tenant, oh, I'm sorry, she had a question. That's the tenant rights workshops.
That's right. On Saturday, May 2nd, we're going to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the renovated Friendship Park.
Oh.
Mark your calendar, and it starts at 10 o'clock, runs till noon. The street will be blocked off. The county is embarking upon the creation of an affordable housing task force. More will come on that later. April 8th, we held a noise meeting at the Fair Oaks Clinic, and it was basically noise around the TE connectivity neighborhood over there, and we had a noise consultant come in and do some analysis. We had probably 15 people who came to that, and we're continuing to work on that issue with the neighbors. And let's see, we're having a hackathon for those of you that are tech heads. The county's having a hackathon on June 6th. And with the bicycle rodeo was mentioned several times. I don't think I have to repeat that. And in light of the hour, I'll be happy to answer any questions, but that's the end of my report.
I would just like to comment that I appreciate the effort that you've put into this council, and the signs, the podium, that it's really brought a lot to this community. Your involvement.
Appreciate it. We all obviously owe Peggy, our outstanding lawyer, and Irving, and Pat Brown, and the whole North Fair Oaks Forward team. Hashtag, you've done a great job.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you, Warren, thank you. No other questions? No? Okay, thanks. We actually do have council member reports and youth reports left on the agenda. Any council members want to, well, you've already reported on the rodeo, but is there any other things that council members want to report on or bring up? No? Okay. Diane, are you giving a report tonight, or Jose?
We can do it both.
Okay. All right.
You want to start?
I got nothing.
Okay, well, again, the Oya conference is on May 16th, and you can start signing. Sorry, I'm just looking. I brought flyers with me to pass out, but looks like everybody kind of left. So yeah, it's going to be May 16th from if I can find my flyers.
From 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Diane's on the committee as well as I am. We have a couple of entertainment. So we actually have an American Idol contestant that's going to be singing. And then we have a world-renowned like dance group that's going to be performing. So they were on So You Think You Can Dance and then America's Got Talent. So tremendous effort by the youth members as well as the committee for organizing this special event. We have our keynote speaker, Rafael Avendaño, and then we also have another keynote speaker who was the Latino Outpost Director for the Obama campaign in 2012.
Wow, and that everything's going to be here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Signing up for the workshops, it's over May 8th, right? That's the last day to sign up for workshops? Yeah. So.
Okay, great. And everything's going well in school and?
Sort of.
Sort of? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, any other reports from council? No? Okay.
I want to thank people. I want to thank the council and also the county and the supervisor. We had a really great, good retreat in our last meeting. We learned the strong clap. We bonded.
Oh, yeah.
And we learned a lot about ourselves. I think it's important for us to know what we do and why we do it and the way we do it. So that was really exciting. So thank you for that.
Okay, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Good.
Dale?
I'll move that we adjourn.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that. And I
Okay.
brought flyers.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. I think we had a great meeting tonight. Thank you.